Hello and welcome to another video filmed on the banks of the River Severn in Worcestershire. Right, I've titled this one 2 for 1 because this is two letters that I was sent and I bunched them both together because neither one of them was long enough for a proper video. But when you put them together, there's some interesting conversation that will come out of them. Hi Geoff, great videos mate. Interesting lengths that Jaguar Land Rover can go to make a video proving a diesel burnt when it was a hybrid in the Luton fire. This is going back to the Luton fire thing. And there's still people on the internet debating whether or not that car was a diesel or an electric car or a hybrid. And I got involved in a Facebook debate this morning whilst I was waiting for my train, you know, one of them trains that flies. And I was basically saying to someone in the comments that even if it was a diesel Land Rover, the location of where the flames were coming out says to me that it's the lithium-ion battery that Land Rovers now have, which is underneath the passenger seat. It's just that's exactly what it looked like from the footage, and the second batch of footage that came out of Luton just didn't seem to make sense. It just looked like it was CGI generated. So even if it was a diesel, then it was still a battery, basically. My friend had a bigger problem with his Jaguar I-Pace catching fire with him inside, and the deadlocks meant the doors wouldn't open and the laminated glass meant he couldn't break out. Thankfully, some builders saved his life. It's almost like they rushed to get to market, ignoring safety and design warnings. I know, I work there. 100,000 I-Paces are out there now, so there's several known issues. The software over-the-air update that causes the high risk of thermal runaway and cell failure. Updates can only be done in the dealership with tech support. The BECM can't fully monitor the traction battery. The deadlock seals on the car doors in a fire and do not open. So we'll see what happens from Jaguar Land Rover. My contacts seem to have gone very quiet at the moment. So my background, I work in designing and making vehicles, so I know these inside out. Interesting comment. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm not going to dive any further into whether or not it was a diesel Land Rover. I've said everything that I want to say on that one. And regarding the I-Pace, yeah, everybody that's owned one seems to be having a terrible time with them. And then you can't get them in the dealership, and then the dealership can't get the parts, and then you wait forever. And if you're really unlucky, the dealership floods and then blames you, and you then can't claim on your insurance, which is what happened with the Inchcape flood up in Derbyshire. And I'm hoping to catch up with some of the Inchcape people to find out what's going on. Because regarding the Jaguar Land Rover Inchcape flood, nothing's going on. People have been massively screwed over by that, so there'll be another video coming on that one soon. Right, another video as another walking party goes down the hill. They go up and down this hill because it's quite a beautiful spot. Then I guess after this they go and get really drunk in town because they feel like they've done their exercise for the day. So we'll let this group go past, and then I'll get into letter number 2. Not bad for motorbiking around here either. Motorbike. BMW motorbike. Rather nice. Right, letter number 2. Hi Geoff, please do a video on the Volkswagen XL1. I saw one in person at the NEC Motorsports show some 10 years ago. It was banned by the US government for being too good. I'm not sure it was it? This is Volkswagen's it was basically a concept car for the road, and it was capable of doing ridiculous feats of miles per gallon. Was it like something like a 1 litre hybrid turbo? It was the kind of car that we should have then developed cars like that. We should have then moved towards hyper mild, superb mile per gallon vehicles, but we never did. So he goes on, 300 to 400 miles per gallon. Yes, you read that right, 300 to 400. More engine oil than fuel, and you'd need a service before you fill up. Ha ha. It uses 1960s technology in a hypermile car. It's all carbon, and there's cameras for the wing mirrors, etc., just like what we have now. He says it's super cool. Basically, it just injects a bit of superheated by the exhaust steam into the cylinder, helping it get the quoted 333 miles per gallon. Where are these cars now? Why the crap EVs and not this technology? Or actually using 60-year-old technology for the future? It would make a great video. Love the content, and the Volvo did well on the track. 158 horsepower, good old Volvo. So that is talking about my Volvo track car. Right, there's a little bit to unpack there. Sorry about the interruption with people walking past. I've said what I want to say about the Jaguar and the I-Pace stuff. I think everybody's having problems with I-Paces, and I do think that it was the battery within a diesel car that caused the fire that took down Luton Airport. On this Volkswagen XL1 thing, though, you've got to wonder why manufacturers have never... They've gone on a quest for... fastest 0 to 60 time, highest top speed, but no one's ever been on a quest to get the highest miles per gallon, have they? Do you think it's because they've been lent on by the oil industry? I do, because if you go back to, and this has surfaced again recently, I always remember seeing a video about a gentleman that had invented a type of carburettor that basically used a float system to keep a certain amount of fuel on top of the chamber, which meant that the only thing that was going into the cylinder was gases. And he'd worked out that if he constantly kept this float at a certain amount so that the gases could go into the chamber and the engine could run on the gases, he could get ludicrous fuel economy out of regular petrol cars. And I remember watching a video on that more than 10 years ago, and I'd sort of almost forgotten about it. And then in the last 48 hours, lots of people have been WhatsApping me and emailing me saying, have you watched the latest episode of The Y-Files? And if you haven't watched the latest episode of The Y-Files about banned technology, then you should absolutely go and do that, because this technology was real. It was proven. He had found a way to use a normal standard combustion petrol engine and get 10 times the fuel economy by changing the way the engine was using the fuel. And what happened to him? He died. Yeah, he died. And the guy that invented an engine that runs on water, yeah, what happened to him? Oh, he died as well. So I guess if someone did come up with something like the Volkswagen XL1 and prepared it for mass market and got it ready and told everybody to buy one, then they'd probably die as well. So there you go. Dead technology, and definitely a whole load of dead Land Rovers. Thank you very much for watching.